Welcome on board to Sykerpa. Today I'm going to show how we do bake bread in our mini oven that we have on board. The benefit with that is that you save gas, and if you are in a warm climate you don't want to heat up your boat very much. We're coming back to them because first we need to make some dough. I think it's called dough. And we have about 3 deciliters of water, a half tablespoon of sugar, and about a tablespoon of olive oil. And to that we add some salt, about 2 teaspoons. Oh, salts get very moist. It doesn't work well in this environment. So I think I take a little bit more. I like salt. So that's the salt. And the water should be lukewarm. That's important. And then we need some yeast, dried yeast, and they usually come in small package. So you just take about half of it. It's no big deal how much you take. If you have it longer board, take a little bit more, and if it's fresh, you take a little bit less. And then of course you need some flour. So we use, yes, I don't forget, in Sweden we have something we call bread spices. And I write you a sign for, where did I put that one? So about 2 teaspoons of that. Get some good spice on the bread. Same we have in some of the knäckebröd bread we have in Sweden. And some whole grain. Take about 2 deciliters of that. And actually you can put in anything you want in the bread. You can take your favorite morning cereals. We usually take what's remained from it because in the bottom is just slight flavor. Here's some sunflower seeds. Some raisins if you like raisins. Nuts is very healthy, and when you get old you need to eat healthy stuff. And you just stir it around a little bit, and it's still very low. So then of course we need to fill up with the ordinary wheat flavor. And now you wonder how much, and in Sweden we say lagom. It's about the right amount. You notice on the dough when it's looking good. It should not a little bit tacky. I will show you later on how it should look like. You just stir it, and when it starts to get a little bit thick, I use an electrical equipment. Otherwise it's very cumbersome to do it like this. But it will give a lot of noise, so you won't hear me when I'm trying to demonstrate. But now we still need some more flavor. It's a difficult word for a Swede to pronunciate, but I think you understand what I mean. So now it starts to get a little bit thicker, but we still need more. But it's important actually to use this a lot so that you get the gluten threads in the dough. It should be, probably need about 5 minutes at least with this one. But I won't show you the 5 minutes because that will be bloody boring to look at. I will show you the end result. There. Now it's more or less ready. You can see the dough is a little bit shiny. And it also, and you can see it's tacky. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit tacky. You're not going to knead it with your hands. So now just have it to raise it. You just cover it with a towel, and then you place it in a reasonably warm place. Let it rise for 30, 40, 50 minutes. If you got very fresh yeast, it takes about 30 minutes maybe. And if you have or too little yeast, it might take an hour. It doesn't really matter. You just look when it's finished, when it's rised about the double size. And I'll show you how it looks after that. While the dough is rising, you need to prepare, I call it a mold. I don't know if that's the right English expression, but you understand what I mean. Take some olive oil. Maybe too much, but doesn't really matter. A tablespoon or so. And then you distribute it. You can use your fingers or whatever you want, but I just take a piece of paper and make sure that all the surfaces are covered with olive oil. Full grain flavor. It's very windy here today, so, and then I try to get the oops, that was a lot, and distribute it over the mold, so all the surface is covered by the flavor getting sticking to the surface of the mold, so that the bread don't get stuck. So like this, don't forget to cover the center piece there, otherwise the loaf of bread will be stuck. So yeah, now we just wait for the bread, the dough to rise, and then we show how we proceed from there. Now it has been risen enough. You see, it's very spongy, whatever you call it. So we just turn it around a few turns to get out some of the bubbles, because we want to raise it once again in the mold. So you don't need to stir it a lot. And now we can see a lot of gluten threads, but that's due to that we work with it for about 5-7 minutes maybe with the electrical stirrer. So but now when it's like this, it's very tricky to get it into the mold. I don't know if you call it mold or form, but that's actually the most cumbersome part, to get it evenly distributed. But we just take pieces like this. I will show you later on the result. It looks like when I have put out the dough. It doesn't look that pretty, but after rising a second time, it will look much better. And again, you put it on a warm place. I put it under the windscreen, and I cover it with a tablecloth, and then it's allowed to rise for about 30-40 minutes. If you want, you can raise it the first time in the mold and then just rise it once, but it becomes much more breadcrumb. It's much better texture if you have it risen 2 times. Time to see if it has risen ready. Voila! Looks quite good. A little bit uneven, but what the hell, you're on a sailing boat, it's leaning a bit, so this is quite alright. The stove is on, but we don't need that much. We have it on the lowest setting, so it's just burning. We put this stuff on top of it, and whoa, and on top of that you just put this, the form itself, and then on with the lid. And off we go. In about 27-28 minutes it is ready. Now it's past 21 minutes. I usually turn up the gas a little bit to maybe maximum speed, close to by. That gives you a little bit better crust on the top. It's not necessary. This is not a very crusty bread, but it's a very convenient way to do it. So you can try yourself different way, see what suits you. Yeah, it's now maybe 24 minutes or so, and a good way to see if the bread is ready is take the temperature. If it's 97 or above, 97, 98, that's a good temperature. So it looks like it is all right. So I think we stop there now. Okay, so here's the bread. It's warm. Oop. And just turn it upside down on a, I don't know what you call it, cutting board. And hope it is. Oh, yes. There it is. Nice. It's got stuck a little bit, so but it's quite all right. We haven't baked for quite some time because we've not been cruising that much. But else we cruise And it feels very, very spongy, like it should be. Yes, now time to try the bread. We have had 40 minutes workout, core training. Very nice bread. You put some butter on it, darling. No. Smells divine. Piece of cheese from Azores, both the butter and the cheese is from the Azores, and also the milk I think is from the Azores. And we are in Portugal, by the way, in Portimao. I don't know if my head is seen here, but
Very nice.
this cheese is just amazingly good. Good. By the way, this is my wife Kerstin. She has assisted me very well in preparing the bread.
Yes.
She's the chef on board and used to make all the food, but the bread we used to do together. So teamwork aboard. Thank you.
That's good.
Looking good. Don't you agree? Really nice texture on the bread.